Natasha. I am so happy to see you here on this podcast. It's great speaking to you as always. So, how you been? What exciting and new campaigns you have been tested so far?
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been busy. I've been working on some new TikTok campaigns, actually, kind of doing some testing there. So that's been cool. We're still figuring out what works. But and then back to school is kind of been in the works since most schools are just getting started at the end of August. And then, of course, the holidays, which like people are starting to think about, if not already. So
Got it. Been busy.
that, yeah, it's been busy for sure.
Regarding regarding back to school, are you running any campaigns for like teenagers?
More so, just ads around, X% off around back to
Oh, back to
school
school.
promotions.
So,
More so,
mhm.
yeah. So not necessarily targeted to teenagers. They're just leveraging that for to take the opportunity to do a promo.
Got it. Got it.
So,
Because
hmm
I've been using TikTok to target teenagers.
yes,
Exactly, back to school campaign. The goal was for them to be signed into school, into new school for this year, and it was a disaster because we have so many
mm-hmm.
different limitations regarding targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Campaign goal was to collect leads, but as you know,
Yeah,
we can't really collect leads from people that are under 18 years old. So
right,
yeah,
right, right.
it was really one fun campaign.
Mhm.
um,
That is interesting though, because they talk about how right it's a gold mine for targeting younger kids, teenagers, but then you can't really actually target them
yeah, that's the
with
point.
the ads manager. So I don't.
If you're going to look at the audience insights and just look at audience insights because you know how to use ads managers, you can actually go and take a look and you're going to see that like main demographics there are between 10 up to
Mm,
19 years old. So everyone else is maybe like 100 people that are using that
right,
that are well older than 18 or 19 years old. So,
right.
yeah, so that's what's going on. And however, you can't really target those, but it's,
Mm.
I think it's logical, you know, that there are some rules that you can't actually.
Yeah, we want to protect the kids.
Yeah, you still can target them though. You can target them with traffic and engagement campaigns that, which are
Okay,
not really that better, but well, they are protecting them because you can't really collect leads directly.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still drive them to the website though. And then they
Ex-
can purchase whatever gadget from there if they have money,
exactly.
or the mom,
Yeah.
mom or dad credit card. Either way.
Yeah. There are different ways to overcome that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But social media, like platforms, I think all of them are thinking that they're kind of on political scene because
Hmm.
if you're going
Yeah.
to like
Sure.
in Facebook, you can target Russia no more because of the recent events. Like, yes,
Hmm.
it's cool, but Russia is still the country. So why not? Why
Hmm.
can't we? In Israel, for
Yeah.
example, I recently discovered we have like very political timing right now. There are different it's in the we need to pick up mayor, like to go to vote. What was the word?
It's an election.
Yep, elections. So
Yeah.
we're running
Yeah.
political campaigns and we need to run them
Hmm.
in specific areas because it's super local. So you need to target like different cities. And I
Yep.
discovered that Facebook actually divides Israel by Palestine and Israel, even if the rest of the world doesn't really recognize Palestine as another country. So I basically,
Very interesting.
yeah, so they are like political scene of their own. They're deciding whatever they want. So there is no Russia. There is another country that people don't really recognize. So
Yeah.
that's what we are getting now from social media. It's total different world. It's online world that's totally different from what's going on in the real one.
Yeah. That's insane. How do you feel about that? I feel like you have an opinion about it.
It was frustrating because political campaigns on their own is a bit of a pain. You need to get so many, verifications and upload a passport, and it was a pain. And when I got verified finally after days, then I
Yeah.
understand that I can't really target the whole territory because they recognize it as another country, and I need to get separate verification for that country, and I can't because I'm not in that
What?
country, right? Verific-
Oh, wow.
Verification goes by the address, like your home address, and home address.
Yeah, because I've done that. But I thought it was just to verify that I can run ads. And from there, I'm able to run them wherever I want,
Yeah, so
right?
technical,
I didn't know that they put restrictions like
they
that.
do. So my technical, like
Uh,
the address that we verified was in Israel, and it's still that territory, like Israel territory. But you can't use it when you want to target in Ads Manager, because on Ads Manager it's not in Israel. So go figure.
hmm.
That's what you get.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds complicated.
So a lot of
And
things. Yeah.
yeah, it's almost like you need somebody in that country then or that area to
Yeah, another
do
profile.
that.
That
Yeah,
that's for sure.
that's like the only way. Oh my gosh. Well, that sounds exciting and fun and complicated and frustrating all at once.
So every time when you think you already saw it all, saw different bugs and errors
Yeah,
on Facebook, you still got few that they're keeping in their pocket.
agreed. Agreed. And they do, like, for the most part, you know how they had a big wave of removing a lot of targeting
Yeah.
after the iOS 14
Mhm.
update, and now I feel like they always kind of remove stuff like randomly. And of course, they don't tell you. Like, you just find out when you're trying to select something and you're like, wait a minute, it doesn't exist anymore. And then I feel like gaslit because I'm like, am I crazy? Or like it just went away. And then usually I'm not crazy.
Che-
Decided that,
checked.
yeah, it's like, okay, I guess we won't use this audience anymore because now it doesn't make sense and we
Yeah.
got to shut it down. But little things like that I've noticed. And then
Yeah.
what else is going on in their UI? Some reporting stuff that I don't like. Um,
We can do the whole separate podcast about that, about
I
things you
know,
don't
I
like.
know.
Let's let's talk about reporting.
Girl, don't get me started on reporting. Yeah.
No, they're the most frustrating thing that they are like doing that without actually letting you know. Like, you've been advertising on Facebook for years now. They have your email. If they want to sell you something, you definitely get in those. But when they are uh, like damaging the system, I call it, not updating it and making it better, they're not reporting it. Like, okay, we did that, and now you're going to discover it next time you want to create a campaign.
Right. Right. Exactly. It's a surprise. That's how they treat it.
Yeah. Did you notice, or I think it's for everyone, that recently every account that you have on Facebook has that pop up to schedule a call with the rep?
Yes. Well, not all of my accounts, but I definitely have a few that, which I've been tempted to do it just because why not? I mean, you're offering me a free call. Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe there's a feature that's going away. They'll let me know or enhancements, right?
Hmm.
So, yeah, have you done any of those calls or
I
I'm
do not
curious
like
about it?
talking to them. I usually ignore them. And it got to the
Yeah.
point that they simply call me. Like, after hours on the weekends, and it's very
Oh,
annoying because they're
oh,
local.
your number. Oh my goodness.
So I didn't have any choice. I needed to schedule a call, and I usually do not get any good advice. And I'm not getting frustrated. I'm just there to listen. Okay, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
trying to ask them questions about, whatever is going on the platform, as you said, updates, features, and everything else. So I'm
Yeah.
getting the insights. But what frustrates me that they are talking not just to me, but to clients themselves who do not understand marketing, have no idea how to advertise. And when they feed them with this, I would say, incorrect information, then clients come to you and your job
Yes.
just got harder because they want to test this, that, and that. And it's just not the way you would go about certain campaigns.
Yes. I actually have an exact situation that you just reminded me of. Because I was wondering, I was like, they're requesting all this stuff, which is fine, but like, where is it coming from, right? Because I knew they're not like really experts in ads or anything like that. And then I realized, oh,
Yeah.
the Facebook rep had recommended these things. Now, good things came out of it, but it was just the way things were recommended, where it was like way oversimplified. Um, and the results, which I knew, I was like, you know what, let me just do it because I'm probably right. And and this is the only way to show. And I'm not saying a lot because like I am on a NDA with them and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to like
Okay.
reveal who they are. But long story short, like their cost per acquisition for those campaigns that they wanted to do by the recommendation of the Facebook person, their cost per acquisition was like double what I was getting with the way I was running the campaigns. So,
Yeah.
well, that was that.
Yeah, it's not always a good advice. I agree. And you know,
There's so many nuances, and they're not, the Facebook folks, not to talk shit or anything, but they're not aware of maybe all the intricacies of that client, maybe business restrictions, or sometimes they just want you to spend more money,
I feel
honestly.
that
That's my opinion.
every time I speak to them. And
Yeah.
I once wanted to work in Facebook because their offices are great. They have also,
Perks.
yeah, personal chef, and they have like different accessories in the bathroom, golden cage. So I wanted to
Yeah.
work. I went online and looked for job requirements, and it actually says that you need to have experience in advertising to understand KPIs, etc., etc. Well, basically need to be a marketer. And when I
Right.
speak to those reps, I feel that they have no idea what's going on, that they were selling shoes like yesterday, and now they're telling me what to do with my ads. Like,
Right.
come on. It's just I
Yeah.
think that everyone feels the same, like everyone.
I think so.
Yeah, so they're not getting any better.
I am curious though to just see this round, like, because it's been years since I've talked to a rep, so I might do it and then report
Do
back to
it.
you.
Just do it. Let me know if you have some useful information.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Today they are split it into different like categories and groups. So for example, if you're having trouble with your pixel and your campaigns are not working because you're having issues with their conversion uh,
Mhm.
setup and so on, so the rep can help you. He has no idea what it is, and he needs to open like a request to separate team. So one rep only can just look at your campaigns and tell you to spend more money.
Mm,
That's what you will get from them.
yeah. At least they have a dedicated pixel person though, because
Yeah.
a lot of people have issues with that. Like when I say a lot, I feel like 99% of small businesses that are trying to do it themselves, at least like the folks that I've tried to help, they usually all have issues somehow with the pixel. And you know how it also moves, like now it's under data sources, I believe.
Hmm.
And you also have to give access. Like if you want me to look at it, you have to give me access if I want to troubleshoot it and add custom events and things like that.
Yeah.
It just becomes very convoluted. And there's also like it's simple in theory and it should be. For example, if you have a Shopify site,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
All you have to do is connect it, and then it will scan your site and it automatically picks up like those conversion events. But what about those times where it doesn't, which is the times that some of my clients like it doesn't pick it up. So then you have to manually
Yeah.
kind of install it, or you don't have any purchases yet because it's a new business. So it's not picking up, right? That conversion tracking. So all those nuances, maybe that, maybe they'll be helpful for that. I don't know.
I think we need to cooperate with the good developer in the end, so everyone will be happy because good developer
Yes,
will know how to deal with that.
yes, praise the developers because they come in and fix that. So we love them for that.
It became bad after the iOS update since they wanted to, overwrite it. So they went and created something that's called conversion API, which is super complicated and unnecessary for everyone, but it's still there
Yeah.
and they want you like very hard. They want you to use it. And you can't for
Mm.
every client, and it's not just one click like installation. So
No, it's not that setup wizard that's very like your brother that's 16 could do it. It's like, takes a little bit of technical know-how
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So they just complicate things.
Yeah. Why?
Um,
Oh, I don't know. That's a whole different conversation.
it's Facebook.
Why?
Over the years, I'm like, okay, it's not working. It's Facebook, just a regular Facebook.
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, what I wanted to talk to you about today is actually the results from advertising that we are getting. I feel
Yes.
that like over the years that we are in advertising that we have seasons, and summer season
Mm-hmm.
actually the season when no one is connected to the internet, everybody probably chilling on the beach. So
Outside.
yeah, I can
Yes.
see that just advertising is down, almost no leads are being generated, like everything is just going down. Do you feel it on your end as well?
Yes and no. No, because a lot of the current campaigns that I'm doing and the current clients I'm working on, they their seasonality, some of them are in the summer. So for example, one client is a like pest
Hmm.
control company, and so the summer is one of their busiest seasons because that's when all the bugs are out.
Hmm.
So in their case, because of their industry and their product and service, it's the opposite, right? Um, and then but I do have other clients where, let's say, it's those are more evergreen campaigns, and I have seen kind of like a slight dip in conversion rates when you look at it like month over month, or in comparison to maybe Q1 or Q4, right? Which is like always lit for a lot of clients. Um, so yeah, that's why I said yes and no.
I think we need to create a list of things that are
Yeah.
happening over seasons, like for marketers, because it's not necessarily that we are not getting a lot of leads in summer, but things are changing in winter, for
Oh
example.
yeah.
So we just need to understand that everything is according to plan, because like new marketers are like shocked about it and trying to figure out
Yeah.
what's wrong. So there are seasons where the CPM is
Exactly.
high, so we
Yes.
we need that
You're
list.
like you're preaching and speaking my language because I've been trying to explain this as well to some clients where I'm like, it is normal to have
Hmm.
fluctuations month over month and year over year. You're not always going to grow at 10x month over, that's like impossible, right? There are so many market factors,
Yeah.
there are business factors, there are meta factors that are out of our control, there is the weather, there are so many things that go into it, and it's not fair and it's not realistic. And I can prove it, through statistics. And then, like you said, if we had something that for marketers could help us as well, kind of educate our clients in terms of like, no, like these are all the things that are also contributing to the CPMs going up.
Hmm.
Like, look, it went from, I don't know, $30 to now
Hmm.
50. So that's going to impact every step of the way. And overall, like your cost per acquisitions or your leads are going to go down. um but a variance, right? I always say, like, from my analytical statistics background, like a 5 to 10% variance up or down is really like within
Yeah.
normalcy. So I'm never panicked. Now once it starts to go below that, right, that's when, is this a trend, or is this like an off month?
Hmm.
If it becomes a trend, then we can start looking at it maybe a little deeper. But yeah, I'm not gonna freak out over 10% less leads
Hmm.
when it's summertime. I know that it's an industry that is more quiet, and it makes sense that people are not buying or signing up as much, right? Because, like you said, they're outside
Yeah. And that's why people
living
pay
life.
your money to run their campaigns, because you know your stuff. You are an experienced marketing, and that's what you bring to the table, an experience, because anyone can create Facebook campaign nowadays. But
Oh yeah,
experience, it's what's matter.
anybody. Yeah, I agree. I've noticed also in our field that a lot of people call themselves Facebook ads experts after they take a course.
Yes, because you do have certifications and you should pay like $100 for it, or like $80 for it. So you're definitely an
Yeah,
expert now.
that doesn't make you an expert. What makes you an expert is having real life experience, like you and I, working with real life clients that are selling real life products and services. And that's really like over the years how you build up your insights, your knowledge, your intuition, is through actually doing the work.
Yeah.
So beware anyone of like the experts that don't have case studies or a portfolio to back it up of their own work,
Yeah.
not like the course. Like I ran a mock campaign.
Yeah, that's true. I know what you're
That's not
talking about.
helpful. Yeah, yeah. I've just kind of come into contact with a few people
Experts.
like that. And it's just that's all I'm gonna
But
say
you
about
need to
that.
start somewhere. Not necessarily calling you an
That's
expert, but
true.
start like not an expert, but a manager. You know, whatever fancy
Yeah,
name you want to call it.
yeah. Right. And that is okay. I agree. You need to start somewhere. But then it's just like don't promote yourself as an expert or charge ridiculous prices when you don't know what you're doing.
Well,
That's all I'm trying to
it's
say.
internet. It's a free world. They can do whatever you they want. So
That is true.
yeah.
That's true. And if in any case, I should be worried about myself and not them. And that's what I am doing.
And today you're going to prove to me that your experience is worth it by telling me which KPIs are you looking at for campaign
Yes,
success. That's something only experienced marketer can know.
absolutely. I love the data part of um, running advertising. You know how some people are more on the creative
Oh yeah.
side? I'm more on the data side, which you can get a lot of creative insights, as you know,
Hmm.
from the analytics. But so for a purchase campaign or conversion campaign, right?
Hmm.
Some of the main KPIs I'm going to look at is, let's just, in general, it's impressions, reach, click through rate, or like a unique clicks, outbound links. I also look at, um, of course, results, right?
Hmm.
So uh, purchase value. So how much
Yeah.
did they actually check
ROI.
out for?
Hmm.
And the return on advertising spend, ROAS, which is the purchase, they call it purchase ROAS. So those are typically the main ones that I look at. Now, you might say, why the hell would you look at like clicks or click through rate? Or that's more of,
That's important,
I look,
actually. I know that it's
yeah,
important.
yeah, but right, to clients, when I report out to them, a lot of times I stick to how many purchases or how
Mm,
many leads,
yeah, makes sense.
how much do we spend, what's our conversion rate, and like general insights, what creative work best, things like
Hmm.
that. When I am optimizing, which I think is more so your
Hmm.
question, I also look at other metrics and KPIs because I want to know what ad also is resonating best with that
Yeah.
audience. And those clicks and click through rate metrics are going to help me kind of determine that, because it's showing, okay, maybe we're A B testing and creative A is getting a much higher click through rate, and it's also getting a higher conversion rate. So in that case, that's the winner. And then you can make an informed decision about future creatives based on that data, right?
Hmm.
You can also determine what headlines are working best, which brings me to the reporting point, which a lot of stuff doesn't aggregate well in the Facebook ads or Meta reporting UI, and you have to use a tool like maybe like Supermetrics
Hmm.
to aggregate the data outside of it, which is frustrating because it's like it should be smart enough to aggregate some of these things, in my opinion. Like creatives across campaigns, right? Because technically they're not unique, but the creative is the same. So,
Yeah,
um,
I would not actually, well, talk super hard about them, because if you're going to compare them to other great social media channels like LinkedIn, for example, it's so
mhm,
basic. uh,
that's
It's so
true,
basic. You don't have anything that Facebook has to offer. Sure, they can improve. Any platform can improve, but still,
right?
you can get half of data that you can on Facebook from LinkedIn.
That's true.
I usually just download everything into Pivot multiple times on different levels, ad
Yeah,
sets, and then just, going into data
that's
analyzation.
true. It does have a lot of data. It's just sometimes it's not slice and dice how I need to look at it or how I need to report back to the client. And so that's where it's like, okay, I need to build my own thing outside of it. Another metric I forgot
Mhm.
about that's really important also, sorry, it just popped in my head, is the opt-in rates for sometimes like lead pages when we're not running a native lead form,
Mhm.
for example, but we're driving them to a separate lead page or landing
Mhm.
page, and seeing, okay, what's the percentage of people that land on that page that actually signs up. So if it's below 30%, then that to me would signal that like that's very low. And let's try, I always recommend the native lead forms anyways, because they tend to be cheaper
Mhm.
and more effective because it's native and it doesn't take the user off of their experience. The flip side, and this is the argument, which hasn't been my case, but people say sometimes the quality of the leads are not as good when you're doing native lead forms, which I don't know if you've run into
Yeah,
that issue.
yeah.
You
It's
have?
been a pain.
Okay.
Actually, that's what my rep told me to do. The Facebook rep, he told me to run lead generation instead of landing pages, and we've been testing it
Yeah.
at the same time. Basically,
Yeah.
my conclusion is that people are lazy these days and they are not reading whatever they sign in to, even if
Oh,
you will
that's
put some filters like on the lead generation form, like questions and certain things that it won't be just like one click submit,
true. Right.
they still not read anything. And when they go to the landing page and submitting their details, that's kind of, brain work for them. So that's why they more realizing what are they signing for. That's how
Hmm.
it works.
Yeah. That I could totally see that. I could see people like half reading it barely, and I could see why that would definitely cause some lower quality leads. But then I do also feel like there's ways to mitigate that, right? Like through the lead form questions,
Mm.
maybe making it a little bit more like more required fields.
A lot more, a lot.
A little bit more, yeah, because right now it's like if you leave it to name and email, that auto populates
Yeah.
anyways, so you literally don't have to move a finger like that. Those fields auto populate. So maybe if you add in like, well, what's your industry, like let's say you're a recruitment company, um that you want to work in, or like I don't know, what's your highest level of
Hmm.
education, like something to make people have to stop and think and be like, what the hell, I don't want this.
No, but
Maybe that would help, I don't know.
sometimes it's okay because if the lead price is super cheap, so maybe it's okay just to leave it with lead generation form instead of landing page because
Yeah.
of the price difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we've been dealing with
Hmm.
lately. I have
Yeah.
also another question for you regarding the creative part. I know that you do not like, you like numbers, just like me.
I do like it, I just like numbers more.
So, when you work in a team with a designer, what are the major points, maybe in your report, that you're going to send over to the designer, or in your brief, creating brief for the designer to create
Yeah.
that ad? Like, what do you mention usually?
So that is a layered question. But in summary, usually we look at what the historical performance. So that's really where I start,
Hmm.
right? Of ads that we've run in the past and kind of what tends to perform better. Um, Now, if they haven't run anything before, then we also take into consideration their branding, what like kind of tone that they want, and then go ahead and create like a video script. So the video script would include what the actor or whoever's in the video needs to say, as well as like the different shot angles. And really, like my job is to provide the overall script, like with the hooks, the body, um, the close, making sure that we have a good call to action. If it's not verbal, then at least like within the captions,
Hmm.
right, or text on the video. So that's all the information that is included in the creative brief, as well as, and this gets into the copy more, but and the messaging, but historically, right, what messaging has worked best, what CTA buttons have we used, what headlines should we be using. Um, but that's not necessarily in the creative brief. That's more so part two of, as you know, like writing the ad copy.
Hmm.
So that is kind of like, yeah, I would say an overview of the process that
Got it.
I typically do.
Okay.
And the level of involvement depends, right,
Hmm.
on the client, because some clients, they have their own design team. They're very particular about what they want to put out there, and everything has to go through their legal team, and depending on the industry. And so for that, for a client like that, it's more so giving them direction, and then they kind of take the liberty to create, what their brand teams like will approve with our advice, of course, because it's not the way that you're going to create an ad is completely different than the kind of content you're going to put out on your social media, on your organic, or on your social, or on TikTok,
Mm,
is what I meant to say.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because you imagine doing like an informational kind of TikTok organic, like
Mm-mm.
that would do so bad. So
Yeah, got it. So every client is different. That's in a
yeah,
way, but the process is still the
yeah,
same. It just amount of your input in the process.
exactly. Perfect way to put it. The exactly. My input varies, and sometimes it's little, sometimes it's very prominent. It just depends on the client and also like the kind of liberty that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the best is when they I have a creative team to work with. Um, that usually I feel like is the best combination of both types of brains, like my ad brain with the creative people's brains, and then we put it all together. Also, sizing requirements, right? Like sometimes that's something that I have to talk to the design team
Oh
about.
yeah,
Like, I need 1 by 1, 16 by 9. Um,
and
do you do that too?
yeah,
Because it drives me crazy when like I'm like, you're giving me a 9 by 16 placement, and like now I have to manually crop it, and it looks ugly and low budget, and
you know,
I need all the sizes.
you know when it's a perfect match with the designer when you just received your order and they are like underlining it, like the name of the image, for example, girl, and then underline 9x16, and like it's perfect. That's what I want.
Oh
Nine,
my
one by one.
god.
Yeah, and that exactly what you looking for, and now you can just upload
I
this.
Can we that's like a love language. Like I feel like that's like a love language of mine. Like when designers do that, I'm like, wow, I love you. Like you are literally like
keep
amazing.
Yeah, keep those.
Like thank you for making my life easier. I don't even have to like try to figure out, oh, is this the 9 by 16, or because when it uploads, sometimes it truncates
Hmm.
stuff, and so you can't tell, and you're like, wait, is this the 4 by 5? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
That just makes your life easier, and then you can search for it, and oh,
yeah.
yes.
Just keep them.
Naming convention.
Don't share their contacts with anyone. Just keep them to
Mm-mm.
yourselves and work with them.
I know, right? Like they're imaginary. Nope.
Yeah, so advertising is fun on all the levels. Like either it's
Yeah,
social media with their strange rules and different errors and bugs, and you need to have so many things ready in order to start campaign and then to end it successfully, all the creatives, all the copy and the strategy. And people think that it's simply just click of a button and voila, you have a
right.
campaign. So no, it's so much behind this, the data, like the tracking of analyzation of the data to optimize it and like to make it better.
Yeah,
Everything takes
absolutely.
so much work, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what marketers for.
Yeah, work and time. Like if you're actually analyzing
Hmm.
and using your strategic part of your brain
On a daily
um,
basis.
on a daily basis, yeah, I think people underestimate how much goes into it beyond just like setting up the ad and like setting it live, right? Because typically, if you're a good advertiser, also you're collaborating with other team members, whether it's the client's teams or other vendors that they have, to make sure that it's a
Hmm.
cohesive marketing strategy overall, and that all channels kind of work together. If you're doing email, if you have a social media organic team, and then you have an ad team, making sure that all those pieces are cohesive,
Hmm.
um, and that you're leveraging each other's strength, all of that all the reporting, all the insights, all the learnings, all the changes that happen every single week in
True to that.
the platform. You're like, oh, okay, well, um, yeah. But that keeps it fun, right? Because I think that if it wasn't for it constantly evolving, I probably would be in a different career by now.
Yeah,
Because
that,
I would probably have gotten bored, which I, do. Like if you're doing the same thing for 10, 15 years, like naturally you're going to get
yeah,
bored.
that's true. That's for certain people.
But
There are those people that
yeah,
simply enjoy that life, like doing their
yeah,
hours and just going home, not to think about it. And here you
right.
are getting, WhatsApp message in 12 a.m. because your campaign is just
I know.
rejected.
Oh, those
No,
are not
no,
funny.
not
Yeah.
fun. Those are the
Your ad has been rejected, and then you got to go back to the drawing board and be like, okay.
Mhm.
Or yeah, LinkedIn did that to me recently where it rejected um an ad that had the exact same ad copy as the other ad. And I was like,
What?
I don't think this is right. And then I tried to like duplicate the ad to see like because we were using a different creative but the same ad copy, and I kept getting the error. I didn't feel like talking to any of their support people because I was like, that's gonna take us another week or
Mhm.
two to figure this out. So let's just do a slightly different ad copy, which we did, and then they got approved.
Yeah,
But those are like the little things that happen, right? That like you don't plan on, but you have to constantly be prepared to be like, okay, that's fine. Let's just revise and like try again.
yeah, part of the job. Exactly.
Yeah, and not get yourself stressed out and like, oh my god, I can't sleep because then you won't make it.
that's
Then don't come to this industry.
that's an advice that we're going to give our listeners today. Just
Mm-hmm.
chill. It all
Yeah,
going to be okay. Just copy your
yeah,
ad, duplicate it, change few
yes.
words, and everything's going to be fine.
You'll be
Don't
fine.
stress out.
You're not. I forget who told me this, but they were like, "You're not saving lives.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not like you're in a hospital saving someone's life. Everyone is gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. The client is gonna be okay. The customers are gonna be okay. Everybody's gonna be okay."
Yeah, that's true. Something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. Easier said than done at times,
Yeah,
but yes.
yeah, that's true.
As we get into the holiday season, those are my final words of like chill, be easy because it's about to get crazy. So you might as well just
Yeah.
take everything
And
with a grain of salt.
yeah, and chill. All right. I think that is it for today. It was pleasure as always. Thank you so much for
Yes,
sharing those
thank you for having
insights.
me.
And I see you next time.
Yes, definitely. We'll do this again. Thanks,
Bye.
Rita.